palmistry reading of a male whose age is 36. We are reading his particular hand. And before I start the video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone number and the email that are mentioned on the screen. Before I start my video, I would also point out that many people, they are looking for very rare kind of sign or symbols on the palm, and many palmists, different palmists have got different opinions. Some of the people would say that you need to have a fish sign, M sign, swastik, lotus, and more different kinds. People have self-created A sign, H sign, W sign. So I won't be talking about any one of them, but I would try to point out how a palm reading is given and what, in spite of having no symbol at all, a palm can be good. A simple hand can also be good, but there could be a few problems. Like this particular person mentioned that his age is 36 and he is facing some financial issues. So let us first take the money line. This is the money line that we are referring to. This is the money line, this is the money line, and another line, and there's a small line out here as well. There's a big gap out here, and at the same time this is the line of head, this is the line of head, and the intersection of the head and the money line is age 35. So I'm just going to remove every possible line out here. So this point that we are referring to, this point is age 35 on the money, the fate line, and the headline. So this portion of life is before the age of 35, and this portion of life on the money line is before the age of 35, and this portion is on the headline before the age of 35. So the intersection becomes an important portion of one's life. So you would notice that the money line is kind of ending on the line of head at the age of 35. So ending of the money line brings about few problems in one's life, and problems can be of various kinds. It cannot be purely like although the money line is breaking up, so it has to do with something related to the finances. It has to do something related to let's say job, work, possessions. It has to do with something related to all these kind of things, and a money line breaking it could bring about job loss, work loss, or business loss. So this is one aspect. But apart from that, I've also noticed that break in the line of money could also mean the main earning member of the family, their health or wealth goes down. So more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. This is the second option that might happen. The third option sometimes for few different people is that their family life gets disturbed. So it can be vice versa, because bad finances bring about problems in the family. It could be this way, or few problems, bad things might happen with the relationship, so it affects the work. So it can be either way as well. So one of these things might apply in this particular person's case. So break in the money line brings about problem. So I'm just going to zoom into the line much more, and you would find that after the break, after it touches the headline, after this is point age 35, there's another line that is starting up, but that too also continues only for a brief period of time, maybe for 1 or 2 years. Then the line starts afresh, and that basically touches the heart line. There's much more stability from this particular portion, roughly from the age of 37 till the age of 53. This intersection of the fate and the heart line is age 53. So this is one way of looking at it. You would also notice that there appears to be no line as such above the heart line. So that is after the age of 53. This portion you don't see any such line. And there appears to be a small kind of a line somewhere in the middle of the Saturn and the sun finger. Now, absence of the money line, you don't need to, like some people, they don't have a money line, but they have got good amount of money. So it is not 100% required that you need to have money, only then you are going to have money. Sometimes the absence of the line might mean much better possibilities, unlimited possibilities. So don't assume that if you don't have a money line, you won't have money. It could mean unlimited possibilities. Now let me basically make you understand what basically Saturn is. Saturn is a slow moving planet, and there are many things associated with Saturn. the good and the bad aspects. One thing could be depression, the other thing could be depressive tendencies, other thing could be sadness, stability, instability, it could be money management, bad money management, it could be wisdom, unwise decisions. So many aspects are associated with Saturn. So people who are in business, for them Saturn plays an important part. And being a slow moving planet, having less lines over the amount of Saturn is always better than having more lines over it. And if imagine if there were crisscrossing horizontal kind of lines out here, then the Saturn mount becomes bad. It gives negative kind of result. It is overworking of a particular mount. So overworking of any particular mount is always a bad indication. We don't find any such wrong indications on his palm. And there are lots of delays and those kind of things basically get applied if there were too many lines over it. I won't say that the person, it doesn't mean that the person wouldn't have a challenging situation. The person may have a challenging situation, but all those things that the person tries does come into reality. There aren't too many delays. The person may have to do hard work because Saturn brings in more hard work. So having less lines could also means much more hard work the person is capable of doing. So this is one way of looking at the career part. Now career part can be seen. One more thing I need to add out here is that people think that the money line would tell everything regarding the money aspect. But in my case, I feel that money line only tells a bit about your money aspect, your financial aspect. We have to look at every possible line in your hand to arrive at the conclusion. So we'll take one line, one light at a time, so that I would explain to you from the financial aspect on each and every line, be it the heart line, be it the headline. Even those things can tell about your success or failure. So the money line only tells roughly 10-15% of how much money we would be able to accumulate in our life. So if we have other good aspects on a palm, the chances brighten up in our life. So let us take the heart line. You'd notice that this is the heart line, and the heart line is quite simple. Simple line means it is much better. Simple line gives much better result than complicated lines. Some people, they have many island like formations and the line is a little bit unclear and there are lots of branches hanging downwards. So those are basically negative lines. It means attachments bring in expectations. Expectations are not fulfilled. That's the reason why disappointments may creep in. But this person doesn't have too many of those kind of lines on his particular heart line. So the person, first of all, is not disappointed. The person is not anxiety prone, and the person is kind of focused. A simple heart line means that the person is focused. Complicated kind of lines or too many branches hanging downward means flirtatious nature, and the person is totally distracted. The person does one thing at one time and then chooses to do something else completely after a few years or maybe after a few months. And people who have a simple line, like this particular has a simple heart line, that means the person is able to offer his life to one single relationship, cause, or a profession. So that's considered to be a beautiful sign for success. People who have got a simple line are able to achieve greater success compared to people who have got complicated kind of lines, unclear kind of heart line. We do see that there appears to be a small break like formation out here. You notice that there's a break. Break in the heart line could mean sometimes abrupt ending in a relationship, or sometimes, if we take a look from the point of view of the career, abrupt ending in one's career. See, we have, why you would wonder why and how come the heart line can tell about the career. See, we give our heart to our relationship, and we also have to give our heart to our profession as well. So both things, somehow heartline gets associated with your profession as well. The good part about his hand is that the heartline is ending under the mount of Saturn. Now this is considered to be a good sign because it makes a person realistic. It makes a person grounded. It makes a person good at managing money. Every good businessman, most businessmen, if we take a look at most percentage of people who are into business or into service, who are able to make good amount of money, those are the people who have their heartline end under the mount of Saturn. The reason why I say it is a good sign is because when heartline is targeting Saturn, it means Saturn depicts money, so the heart is targeting towards money, possession, and wealth, and they're realizing the importance of money. So they value money, they pray for money, and they basically angle towards money. That's the reason why they are able to accumulate more amount of money in their life. So, and such people are also able to manage their money much better way, and they are responsible and they use their money wisely. So it's a beautiful sign to have the heartline ending under the mount of Saturn. Most businessmen have it. Very few businessmen like Baba Ramdev, he has got a very long kind of a heartline. That means idealism and sensitivity, and having a higher goal kind of a thing, but unrealistic expectations as well. So these people could mismanage money. There's also one very top like Google founder Sergey Brin, even he has the long heartline. So there could be few rare cases, but most businessmen, they would have the heartline end under the mount of Saturn. That's a good sign. Now, if we take a look at the initial portion of the money line, so this is the initial portion of the money line. It starts close to the this is the Mount of Venus and close to the lifeline. So line that runs close to the lifeline brings about benefits from your own efforts, and the line that starts from the Mount of Moon, this is the line from the Mount of Moon, it brings in benefits from foreign countries, women. It could also bring from after marriage. It could also mean benefits after having a girl child, or benefits coming if the person takes good like advice from mother, sister, wife, daughter, unknown people. So those are also likely to bring about benefits. The money line that starts on the Mount of Moon could bring about benefits from unknown people or foreigners or foreign country or travel. All these things could be beneficial. So the money line kind of breaks somewhere at this particular point. If this is age 35, so this portion of the line where the money line is breaking up is around the age of 30, 31. That's the approximate age, and then a new line basically starts. So this changeover that is happening, this is a changeover that might have happened in his life, and there's also break. So break also brings about few problems, and during that particular year, so a transformation might have happened during those particular years. So this is the initial part that we were referring to. Now we move back to another line, that is the Mercury line. This is the Mercury line that we are referring to. Moving towards the Mount of Mercury, you would notice that there are few less lines over the mount. This is the Mount of Mercury, so there aren't any such lines that I can basically find on the Mercury mount. I'm just taking a look at the other hand images that the person has sent. Let's take a hand image, the left hand. Now you would wonder why I'm taking a look at the left hand, because it is generally said that we should take a look at the right hand of the male and left hand of the female. But in my case, I give more importance to the right hand if the person is working. And even in females also, I would give more importance to the right hand if the female is working, or even if not working, if they are just going out and meeting people and socializing and trying to do something, even then I would give more importance to the right hand. So in his case, and the other part is that we don't assume that we should ignore the left hand, and don't assume that left hand is completely different from your right hand. Both hands do show similarities, so we have to kind of give importance to both hands to arrive at the conclusion. So in this particular hand, what we find as this is the fate line. There's a continuity in the line. There's no discontinuity in the fate line in the left hand. So stability can be seen. And then there's a Mercury line, the line of intelligence. And then there's a headline as well. So it is making a money triangle. And this money triangle is kind of pointing towards three fingers: Saturn, Sun, and Mercury. Now each planet has got some significance. Saturn, I've already explained, money, possessions, wealth. And the Sun is creativity, art, music, brilliance, risk-taking abilities. And Mercury is all the skills and calculations and communication. Imagine a situation where I am explaining the importance of money triangle. Try to understand. People think that money triangle is huge money. I do admit that it is considered to be good, but I'm just explaining why it is good. Imagine energies or light is penetrating the fingers. From each finger, those energies, those specific energies are entering your life. So when they enter the palm, they enter your life. And as they progress further onto the palm, they get accumulated wherever there's a V kind formation. So this is accumulation. So this particular point where V is forming on the money line, that time becomes significant somewhere close to the age of let's say 28, 29, 30. That's the approximate age when the money line is forming this money triangle. Now this is a beautiful sign to have, and the reason why we say it is good is because it is forming with three lines, and the three lines are the money line. Money line, what does money line means? Stability. If there's a stable line, that means stability in money. This is the first part. The second is the line of skill, the line of calculation, the line of communication. This is the Mercury line. This is the line of intelligence. So these two lines have to be good. Don't assume that if a person has got weak kind of lines, broken kind of lines, and that too is forming a money triangle, that is not going to be considered to be a good sign. But out here we find that the line of money is formed in a good way, in a stable money line, a stable Mercury line, and a stable headline. All these lines are stable. That's the reason why the outcome is going to be good. And many famous people, they do have a money triangle, and not so famous people might also have a money triangle as well. As far as the left hand goes, you would notice that this is the headline, this is the fate line, and the intersection is 835, and just after the intersection there's an upward line from the headline moving towards the mount of Mercury. So upward line, the meaning of upward line is that the head is getting uplifted, upliftment, and where it's moving towards the sky. The fingers is the sky, and base of the palm is the earth and the gravity. So upward movement is going against the gravity. So it means some good things happening in your life, some jubilation or some success happening. That's why your mind is getting elevated. So it's a good sign, and the age is after the age of 35. So this is a beautiful sign, and this line basically continues for a few years, from 35 to probably 3, 4, 5 years. So it's good, and specifically because it's pointing towards the mount of Mercury, that's the reason why it becomes even better, because Mercury is for skill and calculations. So probably some business idea or some retraining or something that might benefit this particular person. So upward is good. You would also notice that there appears to be a small downward kind of a line pointing towards the mount of moon. So this portion of the line is before the age of 35. This is before the age of 35 on the headline. So downward means mental disappointment. Then probably there's upward as well. So there's a combination of upward, downward, these kind of lines that we find on the hand. And 1 minute, I'm just redoing the paste, and going back to the right hand again. Another significant line that we can refer to is the upward line from the mount of Jupiter. This is the mount of Jupiter that is kind of joining into the main lifeline or the headline. The meaning would remain roughly the same. It means where your life is getting guided from. If it joins the lifeline, it means it is getting guided by Jupiter. What is Jupiter? Jupiter is a big planet. Jupiter means growth, expansion, honor in your life, respect in your life. So the whole angle of his life is kind of where the person is getting guided from Jupiter, and Jupiter is position and honor. So the person is seeking position and honor throughout the life, right from an early age. These lines that are joining out here is joining somewhere close to the age of 17 years old. But the significance of these lines remains for throughout the life, not necessarily only and only at one particular year. So there's one line and there's another line. So, and if it joined the headline, it would mean the mind getting guided by Jupiter, mind kind of wanting expansion and ambition on all those kinds of. So people who are these kind of things, ambitious and growth seeking, they are the ones who would be able to reach to a high position in their life. You might say, no, everybody wants position, but it's not like that. You have to go after it, and you have to desire it really hard, and that's when you basically get it. You'd also notice on the lifeline that this is the initial period of your life, so somewhere close to the age of early 20s, that there is a break like formation. Now there's a break-like formation, but it's kind of overlapping. The break happens out here, and then the new line is kind of overlapping. So overlapping lifeline is considered to be good. The reason it's being why it's good is because it is making a bigger semicircle of the life. Some people, they might have even a line something like this, and let me explain. The line is something like this, and it's getting underlapped. Underlapping, the new line that is getting underlapped means less area to Mars and less area to Venus. That means less fire, this is the area of fire, and less fuel, this is the Venus. So it's a negative sign. But if imagine the line is overlapping, like in this particular case, it means more area coming to Mars and more area coming to the Venus. So more fire within the person and more fuel happening to this particular person, more fuel in this particular. That's the reason why things become even better, because this is the Venus is the area of desire. If there's more desire, the person is going to work towards it, and if the person is going to work towards it, the person is likely to be more successful. And more area to Mars means more fire within that particular person. So that's what I find. Now the quality of the lifeline is neat and clean. This is how the lifeline should be. If the lifeline is neat and clean, the chances for good health increases. And if a person has got good health, the chances for their success also increases. Don't assume that like people who have got bad health, they wouldn't be able to do work hard, and they wouldn't be and even if they get something, they wouldn't be they would lack the desire, and they would lack the energy to move forward in their life. In the earlier portion of your life, everybody has the energies, but as we are growing older, we need energies much more. So right now the person is 36, so the person may not be valuing that these things, because people take the health for granted. It's only after the age of, probably after the age of 45-50, that we realize that health is wealth. One last thing I need to add out here is that Mercury mount, I didn't explain fully. There are less lines over the mount of Mercury, so less line is always better than more lines. If there was a strong perpendicular line, I would have said it to be a good sign as far as skill goes, but in spite of having no lines at all, I would still say that it is a good sign, because less lines over the mount of Mercury means that the person can bring his mind to rest, and the person can declutter his mind. So less lines is always better than more lines. You would notice a small kind of lines, that is still okay. If there was a deeper, stronger line, that would have been better. But crisscrossing lines would are always bad indications for life. So those are not considered to be good. Now the person would be wanting to know how his life is going to be in the future. If we find that the headline is neat and clean, I've already given many explanations, but if the headline is neat and clean, so everything is going to happen predictable. Nothing unpredictable is likely to happen in the person's life. So in that way, it is good. In both hands, it shows similarities. The headline is straight, so a very practical kind of a person. As far as the sun line goes, the sun line, there are two sun lines that you would notice. There are two sun lines out here, and this is also the sun line, this is also sun line, and there's a weak kind of a sun line. So this portion of the sun line is before the age of 35. This is 35 to 53, and this is 53 and beyond. And this is also before the age of like it continues somewhere close to the age of let's assume that out here the age could be 30, 31, 30, 34, and the line continues, and kind of it originates on the mount of Mars positive. This is the Mars positive area. It means coolness, calmness, and tenacity. Like in spite of opposition, the person is able to withstand and stick to what the person is doing. So the person is known for those particular things. The money line that starts somewhere close to the mount of Moon. So this is kind of this is the upper kind of Moon, this is lower kind of Moon, and this is the positive Mars. So it's kind of starting close to the area of positive Mars and the mount of Moon. And when the sunlight starts on the mount of Moon, so benefits come to the person from staying far away from their birthplace. That could be there. And the sunline is quite weak out here, a dim kind of a sunline. Dim kind of a sunline brings in doubt and self-doubt. So doubt and self-doubt is a little bit negative kind of an indication. But even if the line is not so good, Still, I can say with certainty that things are likely to be good in his life, because it is not one line that determines every aspect of your life. Don't assume that people might say that this is the career line. Yes, it is the career line, and it's dim and dull. This doesn't mean that your career is going to be go nowhere. Don't assume that. It just means that when the light is dim, it means that there might be self-doubt and doubt. And that's the reason why the person might not be able to energize their work completely. When the line becomes much more deeper and clearer, this is after the age of 53, it means clarity coming to the person's life. So even when there is not so clarity, but yet the person can be successful, because there are other good signs on the palm: upward lines on the mount of Jupiter, the hard line ending on the Saturn, less lines over the mount of Saturn, less lines over the mount of Mercury. This is the Mercury line, and on the left hand also the money triangle. So there could be many good indication, many bad indication. But if we take a look at the hand in an overall way, I feel that the person would be able to be successful, and might have been successful in the past also. There could have been few problems that we talked about at the start, where the money line is breaking, but the person is likely to come out of his problems somewhere close to the age of 37. That's the approximate age I would say that that might play out. And I would end my video out here. Before I end my video, I would just repeat few things that I repeat in almost every video. You can come to know about money from your heart, head, life, sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. In terms of money, the money line can tell only the 15% of how much money we would be able to accumulate in our lives. So we have to look at the overall hand to arrive at the conclusion. And a saint once said, you don't need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is the result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. It is said in Hindi, satsang. Satsang means being in the good company. If you are in the good company, the chances are whatever negative aspects might be playing out in your life may not get applied in your life at all, because company matters the most. If you are in the right company, you're going to go in the right direction. And even if you have the best possible hand, if you keep bad company, it's going to go nowhere. So company matters the most. Thanks, bye, and take care. And do subscribe to my channel, and do give a like, and do keep the notification icon on so that you can see my new videos. It would pop up. Thanks, bye, and take care.